Hello and welcome to Extra Questions. Yes, we're back doing Extra Questions. This is a series where there's a question that doesn't fit the interview because I've got so many questions, not everything fits the interview. Now, my guest today is Maria Williams, and she's living all the way in New Zealand. And that's all I'll say. That you can watch the interview on Joking the Part, which is on the Tom's Comedy Club YouTube channel and on all podcast platforms if you want to know more. Now, my question to you is, um, if someone's out there that doesn't live in New Zealand,
Mm.
and doesn't have access to the New Zealand government, I mean, they're not going to protest. That isn't where we're going with this. What do you think is the best way for someone outside of New Zealand to learn? And I'm gonna pronounce it wrong because I'm very gonna do that. Learn Maori, Maori. I see it. I tripped up there.
Yeah, the best way to learn Te Reo Māori, the
Yes,
language.
yes, the
Yeah,
language.
I would say I know there's some free resources online. I think Massey University had a website. I don't know if it still does. I don't know if you can access that outside the country. There is a lot online free. Unfortunately, it's not made it to Duolingo yet, but there's an incredible book series of books called Māori Made Easy, and they've got both kind of paperback books and workbooks. And that's by Scotty Morrison and Stacey Morrison, who are like fluent Te Reo Māori
Yeah,
speakers, and they're also broadcasters. And it's very, very user friendly. So I would recommend people. I assume they ship. You can buy them and they can ship online.
mm,
The Māori Made Easy books. A series. They've got two paperbacks. There's one and two, but then there's also workbooks, which I think is up
yeah,
to eight, but there might be even more.
yeah,
But I'd say that's a great way. And the other way, and on top of that, I would say access Te Reo Māori television shows.
mm,
There's television shows that are completely in Te Reo Māori, and there's news. Te Karere. Um, there's a TV show called Ahi Karoa, I hope I've got that right, which is like a drama,
yeah,
which is a really cool show, which is Te Reo Māori, if you can access that online, and also listening to Te Reo Māori music. So there's lots of awesome Te Reo Māori music. There's a group called Mai Moa who have great like pop music songs.
yeah,
There's a musician called Rob Ruha who does a combination of English and Te Reo Māori. My favorite song called is called a song called 35. And that's with Rob Ruha and a local youth choir that he runs. So I highly recommend the
yeah,
song 35. And there's also Stan Walker, who's a popular pop musician. And there's also Marlon Williams, has done a beautiful Te Reo Māori album, as well as lots of like folk music and music from the 80s.
mm,
The brilliant song Poe, which if you've seen Taika Waititi's beautiful film Boy, that Poe features, it's the grand finale.
yeah,
So there's lots of I'd say consume media, and then also get some Māori Made Easy books as well, and try and do stuff online.
yeah,
Podcasts, there's Te Reo Māori podcasts as well. So there's definitely lots out there. There's been a huge resurgence, and we're very keen to keep the language
yeah,
alive and keep it thriving, which is awesome because it was a language that was disallowed in the past,
yeah,
and it was illegal in schools and like many indigenous languages.
yeah,
But there's people working really hard at helping it thrive. So
yeah,
yeah, it's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, highly recommend the Māori Made Easy books for sure.
Yeah, and having it banned in schools is a lot similar to Welsh, where if you spoke it, you had
Yeah,
to wear the I think I can't remember the word is now, but you had to wear a sign that you're in trouble for saying it.
yeah, horrific. And
Yeah,
and and as similar to Welsh, there's incredible work being
yeah,
done to keep it alive
yeah,
and revive it. Yeah, it's awesome.
yeah, and
Mm,
Cornish in which is well, it's in
mm,
England. The
mm.
BBC are now creating a Cornish podcast with a Radio One DJ. Radio One's like the youth
Oh,
centre,
cool.
and it's to
Mm.
learn. I think it's called Learn Cornish. Or the word in Cornish, you can only say it in a Cornish accent is canoic, because you can only say it in a Cornish accent because you just sound stupid otherwise. And apparently pasty. Apparently, pasty is a Cornish word. So who knew?
Oh, I imagine it is because of the famous Cornish pasty, of
Yes,
course. Yeah.
yes. And then finally, the you mentioned Duolingo. There was attempts to make it. I saw a news article, a video from New Zealand where it looked like it was just one woman doing it. She looked like she was doing it on her own, but then they scrapped it. They announced it. You can find articles of Duolingo talking
Oh,
about it. It was announced. This woman would seem to be the forefront of doing it, but then they just never went further. Now you can only learn
oh,
the languages they've got. They don't make new languages, so you can learn Game of Thrones language or well, you can Valdarin or whatever it's called, or you can learn how to play chess on Duolingo. So uh,
oh.
you can't learn languages people want, but you can learn a
Yeah.
made-up language in chess.
Yeah, it also like I don't know if there's also, Duolingo is obviously one way to learn a
Yeah,
language. Whereas it possibly is like a lot of language learning for Te Reo Māori also like is rooted in the Māori world, if
yeah,
that makes sense. It's called Te Ao Māori, the Māori
yeah,
world. So also might be a kind of weird, I don't know, like learning it on a foreign app also might be a bit weird, if that
yeah,
makes sense. Because that's not how it would traditionally be
yeah,
learned, which is actually has a very oral tradition.
yeah,
So it was learned through storytelling and songs and everything. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And also finally, they could use Memrise because the Cornish government have got a course on Memrise where it's not on the actual app. They've developed it, and then you access it through the Memrise app. So you go on the Cornish government website and you can play it through there. So I think the New Zealand government could do that where it's like it's separate from Memrise. It's not really Memrise
Mm.
thing. It's the government thing. They update it, they change it, but the way to use it on your phone is it's accessible with that app to use their app features, but it's whatever the government have decided that's what the course is, and that's how the sort of thing. So I think that could also
Mm.
help international because there's millions of New Zealanders everywhere, um,
Oh,
all around the world. So I think
yeah,
having it internationally available would help the language thrive because it'd just be brilliant to have all languages survive. I mean, you can still learn
definitely.
Latin. You can still
Yeah,
learn
yeah.
Latin. I don't know who
Well,
speaks it, but you can still learn it.
yeah. Yeah, and actually it was taught a lot in New Zealand schools
Yeah,
because of kind of the colonialism of it all. So yeah, yeah.
yeah. And
Mm.
so there we have it. That is extra questions. We've now learned the key thing. And if you know me, well, you probably do. If you've seen my interviews and you've seen every time I interview someone from New Zealand, I have to talk about the language well, one, because it's fascinating. Two, because I used to say, and I think I said this I think I said this to both your brothers, but I think I said it to Guy Williams as he was lying in his bed. I think because he'd walked off at one point and he was in his bed. Um,
Mm.
I don't know why. He'd only just arrived from somewhere. That was it. He's really tired. He'd only just arrived back from somewhere, so he'd been traveling or whatever. So
Yeah,
he was in
I'm
his
not
bed,
surprised.
and I mentioned to him
I,
that at one
yeah.
point I knew, not off by heart, might I add, but I knew a bit of the New Zealand national anthem in the Maori version, so I knew a bit of it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
I could
cool.
yeah, so I could say it in a sense of it sounds exactly like it should do. It probably wasn't the right words, but and then I was walking somewhere once. I hate walking, so it was torture. But I was then just singing through the theme tune, the national anthem in my head because I was obsessed with it for quite a while. Because I found Taskmaster New Zealand, and then I got obsessed with New Zealand, and
Great.
I downloaded whatever hip hop version that's on YouTube that probably isn't exactly how the melody goes when you play it normally. It's the da 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 da. It's the more hip hoppy woman, not when you play it traditionally, and it's more
Mm.
not hip hoppy. And I downloaded it onto my phone, so every so often I would just sit there and listen to it because why not?
Oh, great. And,
Why not?
wait, I've got another song recommendation
Go
for
on.
you then, actually. So there's a song called Aotearoa. So
Yeah,
Aotearoa is the indigenous name of New Zealand. So it's
yeah,
Aotearoa, New Zealand. There's a song called Aotearoa by Stan Walker, who I mentioned before,
yeah,
Maisie Rika, Ria Hall and Ria Hall rather and Troy Kingi,
Yeah.
who are actually all four awesome Māori artists who do te reo Māori
Yeah.
and English
Wow.
music. And they have an awesome song called Aotearoa, and as part of that, Maisie Rika sings the part of the Māori version of the anthem. So I
Wow.
highly recommend that song. It's a great. It's I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And so there we have it. This is extra questions. Was that extra? You'll find out.